Alrighty, it's your boys, the Oxus, the Legendary One, and we're doing a tier list on characters you should have in your account and why you should have them in your account, right? We have different tiers: must have support, must have DPS, must have PvP, should have support, should have DPS, should have PvP, and can have support. It ends there. There's no can have DPS because realistically, let's say I max out this kid Byakuya here, T20, his best accessories, he's gonna be able to clear most of the content in the game, right? The only things he's probably struggle with still is like maybe just like IT, I'm thinking, and some Senkai on stages, obviously. But realistically, you could just use any character in the game, and you should be able to perform, right? If you just build them, right? But I'm gonna talk about characters on why you should have these characters and what they bring to your account, right? So also keep in mind there's some characters in, like, for example, must have support that should be in like must have DPS. I didn't make this tier list and I can't add characters onto it, so they can't be like a dupe. For example, if I want to have, let's say, Noelle, it must have DPS. I can't make another Noelle and put her here, so just bear with me, right? So must have support. The first five is pretty straightforward. Their pot units, super link slot, and super link slot and regular pot units, right? And they're the only characters that have super link slot. So I think these characters, for the people who are always asking, oh, I want my characters T20, I want my characters T15, how do I do it? This is how you get it done quicker, right? This is how you get it done quicker. Realistically, you can farm IT with full DPSs and you don't need to have a buffer, but to get it done quicker, right, save your time and possibly use all your time with these characters to get more characters T20, it'd be in your best interest to have these characters, again, who are used in IT, IZ, and are good, right? Noelle, she can do well, she does damage. Nini also, Grimjaw, no, Nelly out. It's only Momo, right, but she's a booster, right? So she's a booster and a nat character, so she should do fine, right? The other character is Isani and Toshiro. They're because of their pot and 30% droplets. And then Orihime is actually nothing more than a pot character, but she heals and has multi-barrier. I think she has other skills as well, right? But let's pass those skills and let's just look at her heal, multi-barrier, and her pots. She is going to be like the only tech, I guess, besides Grimjaw now, the only tech character you can rely on for pots, because Uryu's not doing the job and Kenpachi's not doing the job, right? She is going to, a full room of her means nobody can die. It's impossible. If everybody's healing and everybody's giving you multi-barrier, there's no way a full room of Orihime should be dying, right? There's no way. So I feel like she's a character you must have, and she's usually on pretty good banners anyways, so there's that, right? Must have DPS, literally characters that are arguably top 10, characters in the game, right? Yamamoto, Aizen, 6th anniversary Aizen, Bruno, Arbuki, Ichigo, Zaraki, Kenpachi, 7th anniversary Uryu. These are not ranked, by the way, right? 7th anniversary Uryu, 7th anniversary Ichigo, Daiichigo, Azashiro, Retsu, and Lisa. Lisa, I don't really want to put her here because she's a premium character. And I know the same thing could be said about Aizen, Art Book Ichigo, and the 7th Annie units, but the thing is, when they come back on banners, they're usually on pretty good banners, right? If they're not on their Brave Fest, they're a filler on a pretty good banner, right? Lisa's not gonna be one of those characters, so there's that, but she's a really good mind unit, and that's the only reason why they're there, right? Also, if you're wondering why this character is no guild quest or anything like that, because new players, this is mainly for new players, they're not going to be focusing on guild quests. So if you're asking where Kage Rosa is, for example, I wanted to put him there, but I was like, I'm not going to do it now, right? So there's that. Must have PvP characters. Literally, I don't even know why I have a should have PvP character, right? I mean, if you have no other options that are in must have, but like these characters are most likely what you want to build your team out of, because you can have 3. So like, for example, let's say Yama, Jugrum, and Yamamoto, that's a PvP team. Or Kirishiki, Kenpachi, and Yama, that's a PvP team, right? If you don't have 2, or if you don't have 3 out of the 7 character here, you can always just use 1 or 2 and then like a booster, like what's his name? I don't know, what's his name? Ikaku. Right, you can use Ikaku, you can use even characters like Masaki here and should have DPS, right? Like I said, there's characters in other tiers that should be, or that could be used in, PvP and stuff like that. So yeah, these are your must-have PvP characters. These are literally right here from Yamamoto to Oko are the best PvP characters. So there's no reason why you shouldn't have these characters if you want to do PvP, right? Which I think you should, because you can get large scrolls from them now. Basically from extreme co-op, but you have to do PvP to get there, right? Should have supports. Now there's characters here that you probably should be a must-have, but I don't think I'd say any of these characters are must-have characters, right? Jiriko, I don't think he's a must-have unit, especially with the new releases of characters we got. No, Suchui, not, Retsu, no, Grimjaw, no, Nozomi, no. Like, these characters are not must-have. They're just characters that, if they're on a banner and the banner is really good, these guys are people you want to consider pulling as well, because they're very good, right? 30% droplets for most of them, right? Momo is probably like a must-have, so she's broken, I'm not even lying, right? But these are really just your droplets, your coins, your pot characters that are not in must-have, right? So like Tetsu, for example, is like a 70 or 50% coin drop character, and he's the only one in the game that does that, right? Then now with the droplet character and the coin character, what else we got here? Where's the Silapro? Oh, he even can have support, right? But yeah, these characters are like pot units. Just Kisuke has a shield with pots, right? Again, another one where, I mean, he doesn't have multiple, so you're most likely going to still get hit there more often, but things. Sunchui, a full room of Sunchui in IZ, practically you can't get touched, right? Because there's so much weakening going on. He's pretty good, right? These characters are just the support you want to have, the pots, droplets, and coin characters you want to have. So if you have them, they're more support, right? None of these characters I would say are main DPSs really, besides maybe Jiriko. Literally, maybe just Jiriko, Retsu, maybe Grimjaw, Toshiro. Like, maybe just these 5, I would say. Maybe these 6, right? Those are the only like characters you really use for DPS. But besides that, like, you're not using Riruka for DPS. You're using her for droplets, right? Or Neargate. You're using him for support, right? Same as Tetsu, same as Coin Shop. I mean, you could use her as support too, because she has team/party. But you're mainly using these characters for what they have, like their support, right? Nothing else. Same as these characters, right? I'm not willingly using Noelle because I want to use Noelle. I'm using her because she benefits me from getting more drops. Same thing as Nini, same thing as Grimjaw, right? I don't use, for example, okay, let's see. Grimjaw's green, right? And Aizen is green. This Aizen is green, Grimjaw's green. If I'm doing a regular stage, I have no pots in IT, I'm going to want to use Aizen, and I think everyone's going to want to use Aizen more than Grimjaw. It's just given, right? So keep that in mind. Should have DPS. Now, a lot of these characters should be in must-have DPS. I feel like they could be there. Like, people are probably going to be like, oh, why isn't Kisuke here? Or why isn't Yoruichi here? And that's because I feel like we've have way too much red characters now. For like Kisuke, let's say, right? Power characters. Who do you got? You got Yamamoto, you got Bruno, you got Zaraki Kenpachi, right? And then even still this Ichigo. Like, I feel like there's a lot more options than this Kisuke, right? Like, I wouldn't tell you to save for Kisuke. I'd probably tell you to save for someone like Zaraki Kenpachi, right? And then for Yoruichi, it's the same thing. You got this Aizen, and really just that Aizen. I guess she is somebody I could put in must-have DPS, right? Because there's no other purple characters I'm seeing here that I would say to like go crazy for besides really Aizen and Nini. And maybe Isane, but like, yeah, I'll put her there. There's nobody else. But for most of them, yeah. Fifth Annie, Byakuya and thing, they're still good this day, but they're gonna get outdated very soon. They're already 2 years old, so there's no way they're gonna survive 3 years, I don't think, in terms of like still best units in the game type thing, right? They're probably gonna get surpassed throughout this year. Lily Barrow's still a very good power character as well. He starts your Blood War, so you're probably gonna summon. Same thing as Masaki, Kisuke, Soifan, same thing as them. Ukiura, right? Anytime he comes back on a banner, Grimjaw's gonna be there, so sure. Same thing with Soifan. If Yoruichi comes back on a banner, she's gonna be there, so there's that. Owetsu, probably one of the fastest farmers, if not the very fastest farmer for points event, so there's that. Rukia, very good unit. Burn the Witch character is obviously cracked, and then Jushiro having multi-barrier. And Drain, just perfect for autoing new characters and all stuff like that. Should have PvP. Just other options you can use in PvP. Askin, Chad, Ichibe, Noritora, Mikaku. There's more, but I feel like there's like already enough PvP characters. Most of the time you're gonna have your PvP team built off of just these 7 here. But if you don't have any other options, then you look down here, right? But if you have, let's say, this Tsukishima, Kirishiki, and Yamamoto, guess what? That's your team, right? If you have Kirishiki, Kenpachi, and Yamamoto, and then Ikaku, or not Ikaku, and Ichibe, let's say, you're not going to put Ichibe over Yamamoto, you're not going to put Ichibe over Kenpachi or Kirishiki, right? You're just going to use these characters here, so I don't feel like we need to build the should have PvP too much. And then can have support are just other, you know, support characters. You got some droplet characters who are 17%, literally nothing else besides that. Some pot characters who are just nothing else but pot characters, right? Like literally just Riruka besides damage DR, and I guess maybe should have PvP. Nothing else. You're not using her for anything else but her pots. Probably same thing as Mayuri, probably same thing as Stark, most likely same thing for Lincoln. You're not using him for nothing else but pots. So right, these characters here are just if you need a support like a pot character, they're your options, but you're not using them nowhere else unless you like Momo. If you love Momo, you want to use Momo all the time, then sure. If you love Rukia and you want to use Rukia then all the time, then sure. But you're not using them for nothing else but what they provide, which is pots or droplets or coins, right, from like Psylocke. But I think these are characters that you should have. If there's anybody else here that I like past, I would say maybe like who's a character here that I'd say like a must-have character that I'm like not noticing. I'm not really sure. Right, and maybe like I'm not seeing anybody here that I'd say, oh, you need to chase. Like I'm looking at White Ichigo, but he's not a character I'd be like, oh yeah, go chase that guy, go chase that guy. Spend 5,000 orbs until you get that guy. Right? Characters in must have DPS. These are characters that be like, oh yeah, go chase his Ashura, chase it. Like that's somebody worth like 5k orbs. These characters here are worth orbs, I feel like. Right? And then same as must have. Anybody in these must have categories are characters I feel like are worth thousands and thousands and thousands of orbs. Maybe not Oko, right, but he's still a very good PvP character, right? So these characters here are probably like, okay, maybe 5-10 steps max, 5-10 steps max, and then can have support if you get lucky on your choose a 6-star, or if you get a ticket that has these characters on it and you hopefully get them, then big dubs. But you're never gonna hear me say, okay, summon, hope you get that Momo, right? You're just there just to be there, right? I think these are the characters you probably want to have in your account, best options to have in your account. Right, let me just cover this bottom part here, but mainly these characters here. Right, the first 3, if you want Brave Battle, there you go for the first 7 there. If you want DPS there, and you can get some DPS and have must-have support, like I said, Noelle, Grimjaw, Neliel, literally same thing as Araki Kenpachi, but Mind basically, Nini, and Norihime as well. Like these are characters you can use. So if you do not have these characters and you're wondering, oh, should I summon for like a Zashiro? Yes, you should, because guess what? Azashu is going to come back with another person in must-have DPS and a character in must-have PvP. That's 3 must-have characters covered right there. If Uryu comes back, he's probably going to come back with Ichigo, and maybe Aizen and Arbukichiko, who are all in must-have DPS. If Yamamoto and Aizen return, they're going to come back with Yuha, which is like these characters that are going to come back together are all in must-haves. Keep that in mind when summoning for any of these characters that you. Hopefully it was helpful. Let me know if there's any characters here that you feel like that are word down here that I missed possibly and should be like must have. I know people are going to say something about Kagerosa. Like I said, I'm not really going to go into guild quests because this is more for new players, right? If older players benefit from this, then hopefully I was able to help you, but I focus on this in newer players, right? So these are characters you want to have, like I said. Let me know if older players or even newer players, if you know a lot about the game, let me know what you want to change here, what you think is not must-have DPS. The only thing I would say is not a must-have DPS is Lisa. Just because she's like, it's just because she's a premium character. I don't feel like I would tell somebody to use orbs for her, but she's a very good premium character, right? The second best mind character in the game, I feel like. So, there's that. But besides that, I feel like these are characters I would tell you to use thousands of orbs for, right? I tell you to use orbs like on a banner that had Tsukishima and then like Yamamoto and Yoruichi, right? I tell you to use a lot of orbs on banners like. So yeah, those are really it. You let me know if you would ever summon on banners like these, if you would go, how much orbs you go for banners like these, stuff like that. And I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.